Okay, if I could have your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the College of Arts and Sciences 2-minute lecture series, celebrating our liberal arts heritage here at MSU, around the state and beyond. Today we have Sarah Aleshire from our English program, and she will be talking about demythologizing gender. Without any further ado, here's Sarah.
When I teach in gender studies, I often use the words of intersectional feminist Audre Lorde, who urges us all to undertake a, quote, self-scrutiny of our complacencies. At its heart, she's asking us to be active in our understanding of the world in order to avoid the very human behavior of accepting the familiar as correct and natural, and anything else as deviant or other. Lorde's use of complacency is important because it roots its concern not in malice, but rather in an uncritical passivity. A lack of active critical thought can make something seem settled or fixed, when really it needs to be a continuing process, flexible enough to meet the needs of individuals. One way to scrutinize our complacencies is through the process of demythologizing. To demythologize something is to put aside all the traditions associated with it and to explore and uncover the roots of its meaning so we can actively engage with it. For example, my family followed the Christmas tradition of hanging stockings, but if you were to ask me why, my answer would have been something like, I don't know, we just do. In my experience, the act is completely divorced from the mythic origins of the generous St. Nicholas putting gold in the drying stockings of poor children. There wasn't a moment where we made that decision to carry on that tradition, we just did. As you might imagine, the process of examining ideas that have been repeated so often that they appear natural can be a lot of work. The good news is, doing that work helps us exercise our power to make choices in the face of myths that structure our culture. And few cultural traditions are as deeply ingrained as constructed gender difference. For today, though, I'm focusing on gender not as a noun, but rather on gender as a verb. To gender an object, characteristic, or idea is to give it a gendered character, often limited by an oversimplified, incomplete binary understanding of masculine and feminine. For example, we use colors as gender signifiers, meaning that pink is feminine and blue is masculine, while green and yellow are considered gender neutral. It's that way because humans made that choice, recorded going back at least 200 years, and the decision is strengthened every time it is repeated without question. There isn't anything innately gendered about the colors themselves, but rather a social meaning that we have attached to them by using gender as a verb. Examples of this gendering are endless. The quality of being nurturing has been constructed as feminine, so as shaving one's legs, eating salads, working with young children, watches with thin bands, shampoos with fruity scents, small dogs and lower back tattoos. Stoicism, on the other hand, is seen as masculine, as is ordering a steak, owning a pickup truck, being the head of something, flannel shirts, and deodorants named for wild creatures with sharp, spicy scents. Assigning gendered traits to things can affect where we shop, the jobs we hold, the roles we take on in our relationships, where we spend our time, how we adorn our bodies, and countless other factors we may not realize. The great thing about exercising agency is it gives us the ability to imagine a reality not beholden to the limitations of these gender stereotypes, and the capacity to make real choices rather than relying on the lazy logic of, it's just how it is. Because of this self-scrutiny, in my house we exchange gifts, but we don't hang Christmas stockings anymore. I cut my hair short because I dislike the hassle of having long hair. I buy my t-shirts, shoes, and watches in the men's section of stores, and my jeans, jackets, and sweaters in the women's section because I like the aesthetics and how they fit on my body. These choices, regardless of how society has gendered them, are right for me at this point in my life. Beliefs worth holding can withstand a little scrutiny. Rather than being held captive by the narrow confines of tradition and uncritical cultural consensus, undergoing that process frees us up as individuals to make the choices that are right for us based on our interests and desires, and to extend that same freedom to others. Thank you.